Welcome to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McCaig and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of TARTLEcast. We have.
Did you say Tartle Gas?
No, TARTLEcast.
Oh,
yeah. By the way, that previous episode that you called me out on,
yes,
for architectured,
yes,
architected, right?
Architected.
That's a word.
It's an actual word.
It only became a word post facto during like the digital.
Was this Tartle
age.
or Hard Density Living podcast when we were talking
This
about
is a Tartle one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know what podcast I'm on right now.
Yeah, I'm lost in my own mind.
Yes, exactly. That's what we talk about.
I've been sitting here so long, my sanity's slipping away.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. But yeah, everybody, we're back, and we have some tough questions again. This is like the 2.0 version. Tough questions.
Of tough questions.
Yeah.
And you can answer these?
I hope.
Yes.
And the last time you did this, you put everything out of order for me.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of mix it up.
But I didn't even memorize it. I wrote it down to look at this scrap piece of paper.
Right. What was Cleopatra's favorite herb that she used when she was around Marcus Antony?
Myrrh. I'm going to go with myrrh. It's probably frankincense and myrrh.
What would be an Egyptian herb that they used back then for seduction?
Oh, for seduction?
She would know.
She
was
would
the
know.
queen of seduction.
Yeah, everybody wanted to be with Cleopatra.
Did you ever hear about her stories? I'll get rid of the questions to be real quick. But did you ever hear about her stories about how she would seduce people?
No.
Like one was there was an Oriental rug that one of the Roman dudes wanted. Well, there was only two of them. She was only with both two guys, right?
Yeah. Well, she was who's the head guy who burnt down the library?
Yeah. And then
why am I? His name
I know.
escaping
Yeah,
me? We're not historians.
Yeah. But she rolled up in the carpet, and so when they presented the carpet to them, they carried it, and she was in the carpet, and then she did this crazy dance with with lace and stuff like that. Isn't that crazy and sheer?
What happens is when you sell your first data packet on Tartle,
Right.
It's like you unroll the carpet and you just come out and do like that dance.
It's like
you
a
know?
dance. Yeah, but there's lots of stories like that. She would make huge productions of herself.
What a woman.
Yeah, like J-Lo with the Super Bowl. It was kind of like that.
Oh,
actually, yeah.
But this is like old school.
Yeah,
It's like the
old
archaic
school.
version.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into the questions.
Okay.
So here we go. Are you ready?
Let's put Cleopatra to the side.
Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Number one question. When integrity...
Integrity. Don't question my integrity.
Stop it. This is not. This is serious. These are hardcore questions, bro.
All right, hold on.
This is hardcore.
Catch my breath. When integrating.
This is triple T.
Yeah.
Tartle. Hardcore.
This is hardcore.
Okay. Right. When integrating health records, are you HIPAA compliant?
Yes.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Well,
yes.
yeah. So
Explain.
Well, people are wondering if their health information is coming into the system,
right,
and then they choose to sell it. Like, is there some sort of compliance in the architecture of the system that says, okay, is my information safe here? Or are you actually complying with U.S. law for what happens with, keeping people's health data anonymous,
right?
Other things like that. And we have a whole list of the details.
We use Turkish law.
We don't follow any U.S. law.
Yeah, exactly. One arm, gone.
Yeah.
Commit the crime.
If you steal someo's data, we'll take your arm.
Yeah, taking your arm. Yeah,
that's why there's no theft in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Istanbul.
Yeah, but I do love a Turkish coffee.
Yeah, I know, it is amazing.
But to go back to the question, right?
Yes.
It is, and we are compliant as a marketplace. So when you go to get your health records from your EHR record from your provider,
right?
What you're doing is you're the person asking for this information from the provider, and then it is under your full control all the time to then release it when it is moving through the marketplace. So really, it's not a matter, we are compliant, but the question is, are you being compliant with your information? Well, yeah, because you own it.
Yeah.
So at that point, when it's in your hands and your control, you move outside of that bracket of having to be HIPAA compliant with the information.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, number two.
Go ahead.
What percentage of sale do I get?
100%.
100?
100%. Everybody, a lot of people ask.
Well, everybody's they want to know.
They're like, I don't understand. It's free.
It's free and it's 100%. What's going on?
They're like, free's a little bit of a turn off. I don't. Every time I hear the words free, like someone's trying to sell me a car.
Yes.
Like,
exactly.
Something's up. Nothing's free. Well, lucky for you, it is 100% free. For so long, all these companies have been using us as like the resource that they just like squeeze dry.
Right.
Now it's time for us to squeeze them dry. Right. So how do we do that? Anytime there's a bid that comes in for your data, that bid price that you say, you're going to get 100% of that value. And then I guess that's going to lead us into the next question. Right?
The next
you never have to
question
pay for
is-
anything. All of our services come. You just use the system. It's all yours. Done.
Yeah, and this is a hard question. What is Tartle's commission?
Oh yeah, what's our commission? Right. So
Everybody, if you're selling something, you always get a commission.
Yeah, no. We're actually not selling anything. You're selling something. What we're doing is we actually charge the people buying your information that want to buy it. We charge them a data fee. And that comes back to support our server costs, pay for me to like go out and buy bread so I can live.
Yeah,
Exactly. We're not trying to get greedy and
You're
rich
like
here.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, we're like Wikipedia.
Or data.
But I'm not begging for donations.
Right.
I'm just saying that the data buyers are now going to use their resources, which they have plenty of, to make sure that you receive that 100% and that this system sustains itself.
But they could donate their Bitcoin to your not-for-profit.
Sure, they could donate as much Bitcoin as they want.
Right. Yeah.
Because, with that capital from the donate Bitcoin, we come and we will buy data as a company.
Right.
And we will produce our own analysis of whatever study we are looking to do, right? Whatever questions we are trying to answer. Because if someone's not answering something, I get a lot of weird questions in my head.
Right.
But things that I think are beneficial to society, like creating the system. But aside from that, we'll do our own research, and why not use, your own system that you built, right? Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to go use something else. I don't want to go pay someone else to do the research. We'll do it. We built the ultimate tool for it.
Yeah, no, I like that. So what is Tartle's commission? None.
Yeah. We don't have
Okay,
commission.
number 4. Will companies continue to sell my data regardless of whether I want them to or not? And is this legal?
Hell yeah. Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They're not going to stop doing it. They'll do everything they can to sell this secondary and tertiary data about you.
Right.
It is completely legal. No one's like regulating it right now. You've had early regulation like the General Data Protection Regulation from Europe,
Right.
which is, in certain tranches of how that got released. And then the California Consumer Privacy Act, which is, going live right now.
Right.
Those things kind of stop or arrest a little bit of the flow or try and give you more control. But it doesn't in any way, shape, or form stop a company from selling your information.
Yeah, and you have nefarious companies like you have Yahweh or you have TikTok now, which is huge on social media, but they're Chinese-owned companies and they have no problems taking your data.
People have gotten really sharp with this.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because if you look at some Amazon reviews on some items, like you get like an in-home like web HD cam, people have been going into like the terms of service and they'd also been looking to like where the servers are pointing to. So like, you say it's stored on AWS? No, it's not. It's actually stored on a server in China.
Yeah,
don't lie to us.
Yeah, your home cameras, your apps that are on your phone, you have more of a concern with those.
Yeah.
Not Tartle.
Yeah. Tartle, our servers are in Oregon.
Yes,
If anyone's wondering. Just I want to be totally transparent.
The only thing you have to worry about is the guy maintaining the servers.
Yeah, and hopefully he's not
tripping on mushrooms.
Yeah.
And smoking a lot of weed.
Riding his bicycle around. You know
Yes,
what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly. Yeah. Having some organic what do they call that coffee that is
I don't know, but he's
fair
doing-
trade?
Yeah, it's
or-
fair trade.
Yeah.
From Chiapas farmers,
Yeah. No, he's probably got some
regenerative
chai tea.
farming. Yeah.
some fair trade organic chai tea.
Yeah, exactly.
He's sipping on.
We're totally, again, just lost from what we were talking about.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
So,
but we're on
hold-
number 5.
Hold on. Were we talking about the legality of it, though?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll sell it regardless.
And is this legal?
Yes,
for them it
of
is.
course
Yeah,
it's legal.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not illegal, so they'll do whatever
They'll do what they want. The data is the new form of currency. We've talked about that
Data
before.
is the new oil.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5, I am not comfortable using Bitcoin currency.
Okay.
That's silly. It is unknown territory to me. Can you please give me more information on how it's used?
Yeah, great. So the Romans used to use salt.
Yes.
Okay. If you thought something was valuable,
Right.
they're like, okay, well, I'll give you this amount of salt for it. Like, it's just whatever society, if they deem that aluminum cans,
Right.
okay, are valuable and that's what we want to trade for currency, then that's what we choose.
Mm-hmm.
But for
Whether you use iridium or gold or
any of those
doesn't matter.
things, right? And for so long, we've let the central banks decide for us what we should be using.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you had no control or say in where your money was headed, or if we even deemed it was something of value, and we just entrusted it to a small group of people, very very small, to say that this is what we do business as, and this thing actually has value to it. When really, it's just paying off debt.
Yes.
That's been accumulated for hundreds of years.
It's paper with dead presidents on it.
Yeah, paper with dead presidents, and it's just it's a note, right?
Yeah.
And nobody likes debt, so we're just trading debt back and forth. Nonsense. So if you're uncomfortable with cryptocurrency, right? All it is a new form of saying, okay, we're going to take this system of measurement, the system of value, and I will give you this as a system of value because we as a society deem that it is something of value worth to trade for.
Right.
I'll give you this many for the laptop, or for this board, or for these microphones. And that's all it is. And it's an electronic form of it. Everything you do right now is electronic form of the banks.
Right.
Cash is going away.
And the banks don't like cryptocurrency. So all this bullshit that you're hearing
That's what it is.
about cryptocurrency is being fed from these elite
Fed from the
few
Fed.
people these elite few people that are trying to control the banking system. They're terrified
Yeah.
of Bitcoin. Absolutely terrified of Bitcoin.
Wouldn't you be totally scared of it? Listen, if for so long you had a system of just phenomenal control,
Yes.
right? And you just have a small group of families and there's only a couple big banks out there and they handle over 90% of the transactions.
Right.
You'd be like, wait a minute. People are transacting outside of our system. I don't like that. That's a threat to our cash
They're
flow.
trading and exchanging.
Yeah, they're trading, exchanging, they're buying
And the
selling
power
things.
actually
Yeah.
belongs to the people.
They get to determine what the value is, right? And they determine whether or not they want to support the system. They
Right.
have a choice in that by
Right.
like setting up a note or something. Yeah, well, then that's on them. So when you look at, Bitcoin, you're like, are you unsure of it? Well, the question I would ask you, are you unsure of yourself? Do you
Yes.
believe in yourself?
Right.
Do you believe you have the power to see value in things? Good. Then if you do, well, then find something that mirrors that exact same perspective of life that you have. And that's what Bitcoin is.
I'm excited in blockchain and currency, and
It gets me fired
I
up.
know. Yeah, I think it's going to destabilize the banking system in a good way.
In a very good way.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're in their tall towers, right?
Yes.
Stuff blows over easy in the wind.
Mhm.
We got a nice solid foundation here.
I love it.
Yeah,
It's the internet.
Yeah, like cryptocurrency pyramids, just a good solid shape.
So let's get into the government more.
Tough questions on the government. We're not even
If I
talking about
sell my
TARTLE.
data, is Bitcoin currency considered earned income, and do I have to pay taxes on it?
Yeah. So
Big IRS.
interesting. So the IRS believes in, they say that property
Right.
is the defining term. So if property is swapped for some means of value or exchange, right?
Right.
If there's a gain or a loss on a transfer of property, that's a taxable situation. Okay. The funny thing about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is owned by everybody all across the globe. So to say that any one person owns the Bitcoin, they really don't. It's a self-supported system by
Right.
everybody.
Right.
So no one really owns that property. So it becomes this ambiguous concept. So when the IRS looks at it, they're just trying to instill, or apply old rules that really have no form or function to the architected design, right, of this network that is, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency.
Right.
And if they're asking if there's a tax implication of this, so
Right.
like I said in the previous episode, I had called the IRS and I talked to them. I was like, so if I take currency, cryptocurrency or Bitcoin as an example, and I exchange it back for the US dollar, is that taxable? Yes. Why? Because you've taken something that sat in a system outside of it and brought it back into a system that has its own legality. So what you're doing is you're actually moving into a system of liability. Why would you ever want to do that?
Exactly.
Stay in your own self-sovereign
Yes.
system that you're only
And you
liable
can buy
to yourself.
you can buy tons of stuff online with Bitcoin.
Whatever
you want,
You can get
yeah.
gift cards for whatever you want. You can shop on Amazon. You can buy your goods and services. It doesn't matter.
it doesn't
Anything
matter,
can
yeah.
happen with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a whole map on our webpage for TARTLE to see where you can actually, spend, buy or sell,
Right.
your Bitcoin for
Or
whatever goods or
save
service.
it for retirement.
And-
'Cause
and-
it will.
That's interesting.
grow.
So if you want to save it as an investment, well, do that. Or if you want to use it as a system that is frankly better than the current one we use with the US dollar,
Right.
that fiat system, well, then do that. You have choice. That's the most important thing is you have choice,
Yeah.
right? And that financial liability, that tax liability falls on you depending on what system you want to live in.
I love it. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
I love it too. Thank you.
Number 7. What if I exchange for US dollars? Would I have to claim it as income on my taxes?
Yeah, because you're moving into that system of liability again.
I read every transaction is made public,
Mm-hmm.
so it can be verified. Can you
Correct.
explain what this means?
Yeah. So what happens is, what we did is we mirrored what was going on with the blockchain system. So for how a Bitcoin transaction is verified, we took that same system and also applied it to the data itself. So if the data is moved, if we have like a data ledger, like this data packet moved from here to here, from this account to this one, that's on the ledger. And then on the other side, you have the cryptocurrency that moved from wallet to wallet. That's on the ledger. And that's all public information. We don't know who bought it or sold it. We just know that it moved
It's just
from one
showing
account to the
unanimous,
next. Right.
But it's not taking their personal data and making it public.
No, by no means. It's just saying that if you just wrote down a series of numbers and that encrypted thing said like this encrypted person sent it to this one.
It's like having
That's
a
all
purchase order, a number for a purchase order. And then inside the purchase order, when you look at the purchase order, then it shows description. But you can't look at that.
No.
All you can see is the number, the PO number.
That's correct. All you see is the PO number. And you know what the beauty of that is? We know if someone's gaming the system, right? We know if someone would be trying to come in and say like, try and keep like 2 false transactions someone's data to like drive the price down or try and drive it up, We don't want anyone cornering the market.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we chose to do it like that. Hopefully that answers that.
Yeah, that answers that. Next, this is the last question of the day.
Okay, I like last questions.
Here we go. And this is the hardest of them all.
Oh, God.
If there is a running record, will the government be able to later come back and try to make a claim on my earnings?
Okay, this is really a hypothetical question, right? So I'll just tell you from firsthand experience. I spoke with the IRS.
Right.
And I'm like, do you have any way of tracking how, these transactions? No. Okay. And then I asked, so is it on the onus of the person to tell you if they moved it back into US dollar? Yes. And that's my only answer to that.
Okay, cool. And then like other countries and stuff like that because we have so many people that have signed up from all over the world.
All over the world.
It would just depend on that country's laws.
Yeah, it depends on the jurisdiction of that country. Listen, if you're a citizen of that nation,
right,
know the damn laws.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I can't do everything for you. I've created a tool that allows you to live outside of the laws of that system.
Yes.
Not in a bad way.
But Bitcoin universally.
Yeah.
You can be an alien and exchange that.
Which I kind of like the way that sounds.
Yeah. You can come down here on a flying saucer because we're in New Mexico.
Yeah. All you hear is
and they could exchange iridium or gold for Bitcoin.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just bring it on the ship.
That's awesome. No one's ever going to shut the internet down.
No. Exactly.
But you know what's going to fall down? Central banks will fall. Other big banks will fall. How many banks have failed?
Rises and falls.
How many banks have failed?
Yes.
Was the internet going to fail? No.
No.
It's just going to keep spreading.
No. Unless we have like mass power outages and there's no electricity.
If there was like a huge,
but then we got other problems to worry about then.
If it's like
Mad Max,
July 23rd, 2012, when we had those coronal mass ejections from the sun, that just barely missed the planet, that would wipe everything out.
Yeah.
We'd all be dead in like a week.
Yeah. But I like on the Mad Max the new one
where the great film.
Where the guys are playing guitars on the front.
Oh, and the flames are coming out.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
All those guys trade Bitcoin.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
They bought all their car parts in Bitcoin. They sold their data.
Yes.
And then they bought car parts.
Yes, this is perfect. I love that. So when the shit hits the fan, you want to have a bunch of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And you want to get a big moving metal vehicle.
Yes.
That's shaped with the wedge on the front.
Like a cow plow.
And you want to make sure you get 2 cool punk rocker dudes.
Mm-hmm.
With chains. Didn't they have chains on their necks?
They had chains on their necks. Yeah, I don't think he had eyeballs.
No. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
He was like a blind, I
need to watch that
like
again.
shredding.
I watched it twice already.
I could watch it 3 times. Charlize Theron's a phenomenal lead in that film.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
What a tough woman.
Yes.
But still has a really feminine vibe to her.
Yeah. That's what
it's
I
cool.
like. Yeah.
Nice balance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you in another week.
Yes, in another week. We're going to be having some more TARTLE episodes. I love it.
Cool deal. Thanks, Jason. Yep.
Thank you for listening to TARTLEcast with your hosts, Alexander McCaig and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path. What's your data worth?